Welcome to one and all. I am Miss Premal Popat and today we are going to study the module 8 of the 10th standard chapter Effects of Electric Current. And this is a chapter from Science and Technology Part 1. So let's get started. Before moving on with the chapter, let's just understand and see what all things we are going to study in today's module. The first thing is experiments using galvanometer. In the last module, we studied about the galvanometer and its functions. So today we are going to be seeing the experiments using a galvanometer. The second thing is Faraday's law of inductions. And from this experiment, we are going to deduce this law, which is the Faraday's law of induction. And based on this law, we are going to study about the Fleming's right hand rule. So let's begin with this module. Let us study about the experiment 1. And to perform this experiment, we will be needing the following components. And they are a bar magnet, copper wire, connecting wires, a galvanometer and 2 stands. So moving on with the procedure, the first point is complete the circuit as shown in the figure. Like in the figure, we can see the galvanometer, which I am marking with the red color. So this is the galvanometer and there are 2 ends or 2 points we can say on this galvanometer, which I have marked again in red color in circle. Okay, and these 2 ends of the galvanometer are connected to a copper wire. Now this is a copper wire which I am marking with blue color, and this wire is a bit thick, and the 2 ends of the galvanometer are connected to this copper wire via connecting wires. And the one which I am marking with blue color over here with an arrow, these are the connecting wires. Okay, and this copper wire, that is the ends of this copper wire, are kept on 2 stands. So over here, let's just say this is stand 1 and this is stand 2. So the 2 ends of the copper wire are kept on this stands, and also these 2 ends of this wire, that is the copper wire, are connected to the galvanometer via the connecting wires. And the second point is keep the bar magnet in erect position. Like below this copper wire, we can see a bar magnet which is red and grey in color, and it is kept straight, that is in the erect position. Okay, and this magnet is placed on a dish, we can say. So this is the procedure of the experiment 1. Now let us see what happens. Okay, if the wire is kept moving from A to B, so over here we can say A, we can see A, right? We see the letter A, and here there is the wire, this is the copper wire, and the dotted line is also the copper wire showing the position B of the wire. Okay, so now this wire, that is the copper wire, it is kept moving from position A to position B. Okay, so what happens? And also this is case 1. So when the wire is kept moving from A to B, this we'll consider as the case 1. And the second case is move magnet with the wire fixed. So we will be moving this magnet which is kept in the erect position and the wire is fixed. So there are the 2 cases. First, the wire is moving from A to B and the magnet is fixed, and the second one is the magnet is moving and the wire is fixed. So what happens in both of these cases? The galvanometer or the pointer in the galvanometer gets deflected in both these cases. So we can see the pointer on this galvanometer, it's very light, so it gets deflected on either sides of 0 when in this both cases. Okay, so that means this galvanometer does the work of measuring current. Like in the last module we have seen that the galvanometer can measure even the small amount of current, like if the current is in the microamps, so the galvanometer will detect it. So here also the galvanometer does the work of measuring or detecting the current passing through this copper wire. So we see that the galvanometer gets deflected in both cases. That means there is some current flowing through this wires, right? And this process is known as Faraday's electromagnetic induction. That means when the wire is kept moving from A to B and when the magnet is moved with the wire fixed, there is some current produced in this wire, that is the copper wire. Okay, and this induced current is shown by the galvanometer when it gets deflected, and this process is known as Faraday's electromagnetic induction. So now we'll be studying about the experiment 2. Now in this experiments the following components are needed, which are solenoid coil, battery, another coil, galvanometer and connecting wires. So this is how the things or the components are placed. Over here we can see a battery connected to the solenoid coil via a key. Okay, so this which I have marked in blue color is the key, and this is the battery, this is the solenoid coil. So the two ends of the battery are connected to two ends of the solenoid coil via a key, and just adjacent or besides it there is a coil placed, and these two ends of the coil are connected to two ends of a galvanometer. Okay, and these two things are placed close to each other. So the procedure of this experiment is connect the circuit as shown in the figure, and then we have to open the plug key, note down the reading in the galvanometer. So first case is when the plug key is open, then we have to note down the reading in the galvanometer, and the second case is close the plug key and note down the reading in the galvanometer. So let's just understand the first case. So if we open the plug key and make the current 0 in the coil, so when the plug key is open, that means no current is flowing through this. Okay, no current is flowing through solenoid coil. So what happens? So the pointer of the galvanometer deflects to a side and comes quickly back to 0. So when the plug key is open and when the current is 0 in the coil, the pointer on the galvanometer deflects to one side and comes to 0. Okay, this happens when the plug key is open. So what happens when the plug key is closed? So when the key is closed, that means current is moving through the solenoid coil, right? So when the key is closed, current in the coil is started again. So the pointer again deflects to the other side and then returns to a 0. So we see that the pointer in the galvanometer comes to another side when the key is closed, and it again comes back to 0. So in this experiment we have studied that when the plug key is open and when the plug key is closed, in both these cases the galvanometer will deflect on either side and come back to 0. So moving on with experiment 3. In this experiment we will be needing a solenoid coil, battery, another coil, galvanometer and connecting wires. So on the screen we see the picture of the circuit diagram. It is same as the previous one, that is experiment 2. The two ends of the battery are connected to the solenoid coil via a key, and a galvanometer, that is the two ends of the galvanometer are connected to a coil, and these two things are placed close to each other. Now students, here we can see that the coil is placed perpendicularly to the solenoid coil. Okay, we can see in the picture. So the procedure for this experiment is connect the circuit as shown in the figure. So the circuit is already connected, and here also there are two cases. So the first case is move the solenoid coil laterally and note down the reading in the galvanometer. Like in the previous experiments, this solenoid coil and the other coil was fixed. Okay, now we have to move the solenoid coil with respect to the coil which is just placed adjacent to it, and we have to move it laterally, that is up and down, in up and down position, and then we have to note down the reading in the galvanometer. So when the solenoid coil is moved laterally, that means the solenoid coil is displaced with respect to coil, and that also in up and down position. Okay, what happens to the galvanometer? We see a deflection in the galvanometer. Like when the solenoid coil is moved laterally, the pointer in the galvanometer deflects. Okay, so this happens when the solenoid coil is moved laterally. And the second case is we have to move the solenoid coil longitudinally and note down the reading in the galvanometer. So this is the diagram, circuit diagram, where the solenoid coil is moved laterally, and this dotted line shows the movement of this solenoid coil. So when this solenoid coil is moved longitudinally, that is, it is moved towards or away from the coil. Like in the first case, that is in the lateral position, the solenoid coil was moved up and down. Now the solenoid coil is moved towards and away from the other coil which is connected to the galvanometer. So what happens to the current when this solenoid coil is moved longitudinally? We see a deflection in the galvanometer. So again, when this solenoid coil is moved longitudinally, a deflection in the galvanometer is seen. That means in both these cases, galvanometer is deflected. So the current passes through this coil, right? This the pointer in the galvanometer shows the deflection. That means some amount of current is passing through the coil, and that is why this galvanometer is showing this deflection. Okay, like in the previous 3 experiments, we have seen that there is a deflection shown in the galvanometer by the pointer. So what is the conclusion of all these 3 experiments? So in first experiment, we have studied that if a conducting wire is kept moving in a magnetic field, a current is produced in it, right? That means when this conducting wire or a magnet is moved, a current is produced in the wire, that is the conducting wire. In second experiment, when a solenoid coil is kept stationary and the current is switched on or off, that means the plug key is closed or open in the solenoid coil, a current is induced in the coil. That means when the plug key of the solenoid coil is on or off, a current is induced in other coil which is placed just adjacent to it. This we have studied in experiment 2. In experiment 3, we have seen that if a solenoid coil is moved longitudinally or laterally, that means if it is moved towards or away from the coil or in up and down position, then also a current is produced in the coil which is placed adjacent to it. And this indication of the current is shown by the deflection in the galvanometer. So from these three experiments, it is concluded that a current is induced in the coil which is placed just adjacent to it. When there is something done to this solenoid coil, a current is induced in this coil, and this current, that is the indication of the current, is shown by the galvanometer. So this is the conclusion from the experiments which we have studied in the previous slides. Michael Faraday was the one who discovered the laws of electromagnetic induction. He was an experimental scientist and he was not formally educated, but he was appointed as a laboratory assistant in the Royal Institute, London. And in this institution, he discovered these laws of electromagnetic induction, also popularly known as Faraday's law of induction. He said that the mechanical energy of the moving magnet is converted into electricity, that is current. So in our first case, the magnet was moving, right? So this energy of the moving magnet is converted into electricity. Also, because of moving magnetic field, like in all these three cases, there was a change in a magnetic field, okay, associated with the circuit. So because of this moving magnetic field which is entering a conductor, in our case it is a coil. So because of this moving magnetic field entering a conductor, there was a current which was produced in the coil. Okay, that means a current is induced in the coil. So from these three experiments, we have studied that a current is induced in the coil. But why this current is induced? It is because the magnetic field around this coil changes. That means the number of magnetic lines of force. Now magnetic lines of force represent the magnetic field. So whenever this magnetic lines of force passing through the coil changes, a current is induced in the coil. And this is known as Faraday's law of induction, because he was the one to discover these laws of induction. These are also known as electromagnetic induction or laws of electromagnetic induction. Now the current which is produced in the coil is known as induced current. So there is a current, right, which is produced or induced in the coil. So this current is known as induced current. Faraday said that the current will be induced in the coil when there is change in number of magnetic lines of force. Now this direction of the current induced in the coil is shown by Fleming's right hand rule. So Fleming's right hand rule enables us to know the direction of the induced current when the direction of the magnetic field and the motion of the conductor are known. So in our previous modules we have studied the Fleming's left hand rule. So we got to know the direction of force when the direction of the magnetic field and the current were known. But in this case, that is in Fleming's right hand rule, we will know the direction of the induced current in the coil when the direction of the magnetic field and the motion of the conductor are known. So let us understand this Fleming's right hand rule. So here also we'll be using three fingers, but here we'll use a right hand. So we are going to use the thumb, first finger and the second finger. So the thumb will represent the direction of the motion of the conductor. Okay. So this thumb will represent the direction of the motion of the conductor. The first finger represents the direction of the field, which is from north to south. So the direction of the magnetic field is represented by this middle finger, which I have marked in blue color with an arrow. And the second finger will represent the direction of the induced or generated current. Okay, this which I have marked with green color, the second finger will represent the direction of the induced current or a generated current. Now the direction of the induced current will be the direction of the conventional current, which is from positive to negative. Generally the flow of electrons is from negative to the positive terminal of the battery, but conventionally we take that the direction of the current is from positive terminal of the battery to negative, and this is known as conventional current. And this Fleming's right hand rule will show the direction of the conventional current. So in this case we'll have to know the direction of the magnetic field and the direction of the motion of the conductor. When these two things are known, the direction of the induced current will be shown by the second finger. This is the Fleming's right hand rule. So there is a question for you all. When will the induced current in the electrical conductor or a coil be maximum? So there is a current induced in the coil. Okay, so when this current will be maximum? Like in the previous slide, we have seen that all these three things, that is the magnetic field, induced current and the movement of the conductor, are perpendicular to each other, and this is shown by Fleming's right hand rule. So this induced current will be maximum when the direction of the motion of the electrical conductor, which is shown by the thumb, and I am marking this with blue color, when this direction of the motion of the electrical conductor is perpendicular to the magnetic field, then only there will be current induced in the coil. And when these two things are perpendicular to each other, then only the current will be maximum. Like for example, if we say the motion of this electrical conductor is parallel to the magnetic field. Okay. During this time, when these two things are parallel, there will be no induced current. That means this induced current will be 0. So students, this induced current will be maximum when this direction, that is the direction of the magnetic field and the direction of the motion of the electrical conductor, are perpendicular to each other. Then only this direction of the induced current or the induced current will be maximum. So these are the things which we have studied in this module. Based on the experiment, we have derived the Faraday's law of induction, and based on this law we have studied the Fleming's right hand rule. So in the next module we will be continuing with this chapter. So thank you all for your attention.